Why Africans struggle to marry across borders. Imagine this. A Kenyan man falls in love with a Ghanaian woman. They want to build a life together, right here in Africa. But what should be a simple celebration of love turns into years of legal struggles, mountains of paperwork, and thousands of dollars spent. Why? Because even in Africa, it's often easier to marry across oceans than across borders. And that should shame us all. Let's speak the truth. Africa has failed its own people when it comes to unity. And nowhere is this failure more personal, more painful than in love and marriage. To understand why Africans can't easily marry each other, we have to go back. Africa's borders were never drawn by Africans. In 1884, at the Berlin Conference, European powers sat around a table and divided the continent for their benefit. They split ethnic groups, families, and entire civilizations, and left us with borders that made no sense then and still make no sense today. When independence came, we didn't break the chains, we polished them. Our leaders inherited these colonial systems. Instead of dismantling the borders that divided us, we reinforced them with visas, work permits, and immigration hurdles, even for Africans marrying Africans. And yet, we spoke of unity. Leaders like Kwame Nkrumah dreamed of a United States of Africa. The African Union, ECOWAS, the East African Community, and SADC, all promised free movement, integration, and a new era of brotherhood. But where are we now? That dream is flickering. Nationalism has replaced Pan-Africanism. Bureaucracy has replaced brotherhood. And love across borders is treated with suspicion, not support. Let's look at the harsh reality. A Nigerian man marries a Kenyan woman. She must apply for a long-term visa, undergo medical screening, pay endless fees, and wait years before she can even apply for citizenship. A Ghanaian marries a South African. They spend thousands on legal advice, translation, documents, and immigration interviews, only to risk deportation for missing a single step. Even in regions that preach integration like ECOWAS or the East African Community, enforcement is weak. A Ugandan marrying an Ethiopian still faces bribes, denial of entry, and endless red tape. This is not just inconvenient. It is unjust. It is un-African. And the financial burden? It's a punishment. Visa fees from $100 to $500. Residency permits over $500 a year. Legal costs in the thousands. These are barriers that many Africans simply cannot afford and should not have to pay. Here's the bitter truth. For many Africans, it is easier to marry someone from Europe or North America and gain residency abroad than it is to marry a fellow African and live together here. Let that sink in. So what's holding us back? Our immigration laws are fragmented. Each African country operates in isolation. There is distrust between African governments. There's fear that open doors bring crime or economic threat. And most of